Hey everybody, I'm the Practical Prepper, Tracy, and today I want to talk about why we might want to store borax. So borax is sodium borate. It is an old-fashioned cleaner that you probably had around your grandmother's house. This is sort of like the traditional look that the box may have had. And then this is a modern prepper version of borax that I bought. But what is nice about this one is on the back of the box, it has all kinds of uses. So if you don't know what it's for, you can just look at the back of the box and there it is. This one has nothing. Nothing. So you just need to know. So if you don't know what borax is for, I suggest buying this one here and then maybe have one of these if you want extra. Sodium borate is a natural mineral that used to be mined and then pulled out by a cart with 20 mules, and that's why this name is the 20 Mule Team. This has been around for hundreds of years. People have used it for all different types of cleaning and pest control and things like that. It's been used for laundry. It's a great laundry booster. You could just use it to clean a whole bunch of different things. People in the old days used it to make slime with their kids. It's not really good for that. You really gotta know when to use it and when not to use it. Borax is not safe for kids, not safe for pets. So if that's a concern you have, then I would avoid using borax except in situations where you really need it. You could probably just use vinegar or baking soda for most of those things. So the reason why borax works is because it has a very high pH, like 9 to 9.5, where baking soda has about an 8 pH. So borax can work to cut grease, cut oils. It's really strong for like heavily oily, soiled things compared to using baking soda. It can neutralize odors more strongly. It can soften water, so it's going to help in your laundry. It's also great for pests, so you could sprinkle it around your house wherever the pests, small pests like ants or cockroaches might be entering, so you can sprinkle it around, it'll kill pests. And baking soda will not do that. So if you're looking for a really generalized cleaner, borax is better than baking soda for certain things, but you have to kind of take that with a grain of salt because it is sort of a problem for ingesting, or it's an irritant. It can be bad to use sort of in the old ways that they would use it, where say if you had pet odors, people would sprinkle it on their carpet or something like that. You really don't want to do that these days. Vacuuming it up is really not enough. If you have a baby crawling around, or if you have a pet and he's going to get it on their paws, like any little remnants, and then they're going to lick it off, that's not going to be good for your pets. So it should be avoided for use on the floor or around children or pets. But for things outside of that, it's perfectly safe as long as it's used in sort of normal household kind of quantities. You don't want to have like really large quantities going out into the world, like down the drain into the waterways. It's not great if it's sort of disposed of in the waterways in large quantities, but for regular household use, that isn't happening, so it shouldn't be a problem. So borax also kills mold and mildew on, say, cement. If you have it growing outside and it keeps coming back, borax is going to kill it. It's going to help remove it, and it's also going to help keep it from growing back. So if you're in an area where that's happening, it's great for that. I just had some stuff on my driveway that I tested out between baking soda and borax. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's lichen. It's sort of a greenish yellow, like hard stuff, and I'll show you a picture if I have it ready by the time I do this video. But I tested out 2 different spots that were that greenish yellow, sort of hard lichen stuff. It does seem to grow in the shaded areas, but it's not really slippery when it's wet. It just sort of discolors your driveway. I use both baking soda and borax. They both clean it. So my guess is the spot I use the borax, it will not come back as fast. This is the borax spot, and that is the baking soda spot. But I don't know. We'll have to see over time. I also used both those items on 2 little, like tiny oil spots, and they were very small, and it worked on both of those. Both items worked on both of those. This is where the spot was that I used the borax on, and I'll show you the other spot next. So here is the oil spot that I used the baking soda on. I scrubbed in a paste. I left it for about 15-20 minutes. Then I came back and rinsed it off, and the stain was completely gone. So it worked just as well as the borax. By all means, pull out your baking soda first if you feel like it's safer, because you don't really have to worry about it going, when you rinse, you don't have to worry about it going down the drains. Whereas with the borax, when I cleaned, I actually had to go, I felt like I needed to go and clean, I made a paste and put it on and then let it sit there for like half an hour, and then I cleaned it up. But I took wet paper towels and kind of scooped up as much of it as I could before I just rinsed the rest, because I would know that rinsed water is going to go down the waterways. And so I just wanted to minimize that. So you can also use borax to clean tiles and grout, things like that are really tough, but it's not good for natural stone. If you have a natural stone that's kind of soft, it's not good for that. So you probably just want to try using baking soda for that type of stuff. So in the old days, borax was considered a multi-purpose cleaner and you could kind of use it on anything. Now we need to be a little bit more restricted in the ways we use it. We need to make sure we're being safe and that it's not going to be a problem for our pets or our kids. Another thing that it used to be used for, and I don't know if you want to do this anymore, you have to decide, but people use it to soak their diapers, like cloth diapers. As long as you rinse it really well, it should be okay, but that's something you may want to just, not do. Like if you don't need to do it, then it's probably just something I'd stay away from. The reason why it's a problem is not because it's kind of like, it's not a serious issue, but it's an irritant. So if it gets on your skin, if you breathe it in, like it's a powdery substance, I'll show a picture here. It's powdery substance, very similar looking to baking soda, but if you breathe it in or if you get it on your skin, it's an irritant, and it can obviously irritate your lungs and it can irritate your skin. And if you ingest it, obviously that's not good. You don't want to do that. So an interesting fact about borax is that it has been banned for household use in the UK. And someone who saw one of my videos actually made a comment about that. So I looked it up, and it's true. It's banned for most household use, which is okay, great, but they still allow it for commercial use. So the commercial use is actually where it's really going to be a problem, because they're going to use it in large quantities, and then it's going to get into the waterways, depending on how they dump it, right? So for normal household use, when you're just using a tiny amount, it's okay. So you can decide where you stand. If you want to use it, great. If you don't want to use it, great. I already have it. It's in my prepper pantry. It's something I use very occasionally, but the reason why it's good for a prepper to have is because it has so many different uses. And if you have an issue where you can't buy cleaners because there are supply chain issues or whatever, this can do so many different things that it can replace a lot of those cleaners that you may not be able to buy for whatever reason, whether it's a supply chain issue or it's just money is tight, you're without a job and you don't want to spend any more money, but you have a box of this around. You can use it for laundry, you can use it for cleaning, you can use it for pest control. There's just a lot of uses. So it makes sense to have items like that in your prepper pantry. The other reason why preppers like it is it has a very long shelf life. This stuff never expires, it never goes bad, so it's just there when you need it, no matter how long it's been. So the last thing I wanted to address is, do you even need this though? Should I just have baking soda and never have borax? Is there anything that borax can do that baking soda can't? And the answer is yes. It is much tougher on grease and oil and stains like that. So if you have heavily soiled items you need to clean, borax is going to do better. Like if your baking soda doesn't get it clean, you can try borax and it might get it clean. It's stronger, it's a better laundry booster. Baking soda doesn't do anything for pests around your house. It doesn't stop them, it doesn't hurt them. So if you're having an issue with pests, borax is going to help, where baking soda can't do anything. Borax is better for mold and mildew on tile or wherever you're having issues on cement or things like that. Baking soda might help remove it once, but it'll come back pretty quickly, whereas the borax is going to help remove it and keep it from coming back for longer. So it's just as far as like regular maintenance of those areas, you aren't going to have to deal with them as often if you use borax instead of baking soda. And for cleaning hard water spots, so those calcium buildup deposits that you get maybe in your shower or on your sink faucet or things like that, borax is helpful with those things where baking soda is not. So in the end, borax is stronger and it can do more things, but it does come with some concerns. And baking soda is sort of milder and cheaper, but you can use it without any worries, but it just doesn't do as much. So you can decide which one, or if you want to have both in your house, it's up to you completely. And I'm just here to sort of tell you the differences and why I would use it. I don't have small children in my house. I do have pets, but I still feel comfortable using it as long as I just don't use it anywhere where my pets might be walking around. And that's it for today. Please let me know in the comments if you have borax, or if you use borax, or if you think it's a good thing to have in your house, or if you think it's just not worth it. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that. All right, thanks you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey, if you enjoyed that video, I thought you might like to check out this video next. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll see you next time.